Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So coming back with a really hot off the press butterfly jewels. This has been launched all week on Hunkydory as part of their 100k giveaway. It is a beautiful kit. I don't think you get on screen how beautiful it is. In real life it is way more than you see there. But today I'm going to be playing with Amethyst Dreams. So we've got two sort of arch toppers there with the frames, butterfly and butterfly. We've got borders. We've got these two sort of replacement toppers there if you wanted to swap them out. One's got butterflies on, one's got follow your dreams, they know the way. We've got a happy birthday. We've got two butterfly buttons, two little arched toppers there, thinking of you, butterflies. It's not a tag, it is an actual topper. And then we've got Flutterby wishes there as well. Beautiful cardstock here which we could be stealing. Got our gold foiled cardstock. We've got our printed, let's turn it around the right way, printed cardstock, very beautiful. And I have bought in some of that glitter adorable scoreable which I will be playing with on the second card. So I'm going to start by bringing in a piece of 6x12 300 GSM cardstock, and I'm going to pop that to the 2-inch mark, move that all the way down to 1 inch, and we're going to cut all the way down to the 7. Okay. And then if I bring in the scoreboard, pop that shorter end towards the top, and we're going to score 1, 2 and 7, and then I'm just going to flip that over, and on that larger piece we're going to score at the halfway point of 6. So I'm just making a little 6x6 side stepper, super cute. And we can just start easing these sort of folds in. Oops, glue's going. And just give those a burnish down. Just make sure that is nice and straight. We've got a card that stands like so. So we've got a nice big side piece there. Just slightly a different take on that normal stepper. So let's bring in the trimmer. And I'm going to get all of my gold mirri out of one piece of 6x6 mirri mat. So I'm going to take 2 notches off one of the sides. And then I'm going to rotate that around and take 2 notches off about 1 inch, and that's going to go across that piece at the bottom there. And then this piece here is 4x5, and this piece here is 2x5. So let's do the 2x5 first of all. So I'm going to take 2 notches off the 2 notches off the 5. That will fit into there rather nicely. And then I wonder what I did then. Okay, let's just grab another piece of gold. They should have all come out. I've probably not turned it where I should have done. So we'll just take this to 2 notches under the 4 and 2 notches under the 5. And that piece will fit into the top up there. Okay, then let's decide which cardstock we want to use. I'm going to go with the foiled one. And I'm going to take this to 5 3/4. And then I am going to, I may end up taking some more from elsewhere, but let's start by cutting this piece here, which is going to be 1 3/4. I'm taking this patterned piece, and that's going to be by 4 3/4. So that's going to go into there like so. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. And then the centre bit, the main bit, I'm going to use this for. So that needs to be 3 3/4. Save that in the kit just in case we need it for a border. By 4 3/4. And that should fit very nicely onto that mat there. And then what I'll do is take just a little bit of that glitter card. I'm just going to take that to 3/4 inch. And that needs to be 5 3/4. So that's going to be the decoration of the actual card bit before we put our toppers on. So let's go ahead and pop those together. So the glues I'm going to be using, they're my usual glues. The Cloud All Purpose glue, the Cloud Tacky glue. Glue stuck at the top there, I should have cleaned that off before I started. And I like to use this combination of glues, but you know, there's hundreds of combinations of glues out there. You use what works for you. Noisy motorbike going up the road. So pop that onto there. You can, you know, like I always say, you could go in with an embossing folder. If you've got a butterfly embossing folder, a sort of trail of dots embossing folder, would look super cute, especially on these bigger bits. Just because it's foiled doesn't mean you can't add that extra texture on if you want to. And then this one, I think I will just use dots on the end, which is the permanent dot tape pen. That one is the Hunkydory one. I also quite like the Crafter's Companion one as well. But at the moment I am favouring the Hunkydory one just purely because it's it tends to last right to the end of the reel, which is a big thing. It's super easy to change. You literally just pop that out and then pop the new one back in. It's slightly a bit more you know, better for the environment because there is less to be recycled, less to be you know, binned. So I am favouring that one at the moment, although I do know Crafter's Companion do have their own same, you know, that you can swap out, but I've never tried them. But like I say, this one I can say wholeheartedly that everyone that I've used, and it's probably about the 5th or 6th let's use those, the 5th or 6th refill I've put in there, but every time it's gone right to the end of the reel. I've not had any sort of issues where it stopped or it's not turning, or you know, any of those issues which I have had with other brands. So it is, and because I have found it to be so reliable, that's why I have kept on using it. So and I use that all throughout my crafting. So I'm putting this gold to the left hand side, popping that in, bring it down just a little bit, and then when we put that together, that's how our card is going to look. So I like that this is a slightly different, it's a brighter glitter to this background one, so it does look different, you know, it just adds that little bit of texture, which I like. So let's bring out the toppers. So which one shall we go for? Right, I think I'm going to pop out this border. I will straighten the edges up, but let's just cut that out with my knife and pop it out. There we go, got you. So that's going to go on the front, and I think I'm going to go for this lighter frame, the one that matches this side panel. And I love these gems at the top, beautiful. And oops, pop you out. So you're going to go on there, and then I think I'm going to go with both of these little ones. So we have a thinking of you and a little butterfly one as well. So these are the only sentiments I'm putting on there, those two. And let's pop those away for now. Now, just before I get into that, let me grab, let's use the guillotine, since that's right at my foot there. I'm just going to straighten that edge. This is the one with little tiny butterflies on. I will lift it up and try and show you in better detail in a second. That needs to be 5 3/4 long. Let's put that up there. Let's see if we can get the camera to show you the detail on it. Oh yeah, look at that. Excuse my nails. It's the thyroid. Makes them all split. They're terrible, but they're lovely, cute. Okay, so let's grab all of these and put that down flat again. Now I am going to be missing out this middle one, you know I like to do that. Oops, let's put that the right way up. We don't want any Australian butterflies. If you have got the acetates with the butterflies, you can always add those on as well. Super cute. I have got them, but I'm not doing it on this one. So I think I'm going to put this on first because this is going to come over the top. And I think I'm going to go with a 1mm foam pad. Probably going to get away with putting those on as long as I am super neat, as it is exactly the length, or the width rather. Okay. So have you been enjoying the week? The 100k giveaway on Hobby Maker and such? And by now you probably, if you've watched Hobby Maker, you would have seen those beautiful Joy design pads as well. Always makes me wonder what's coming next, because everything just seems to get better and better with Hunkydory. Let's just grab some skidders and just trim that a little bit. And I'm going to go 2mm on the frame and then put the insert, my little topper, that's going to go flat. I think we've got quite a nice chunky frame here as well, so we should be able to just go straight on with these. That's perfect. Now I'm not going to put any at the bottom because that's going to come over that border that I've just put on, so I'm not going to bother putting any foam pads there, but there will be plenty to support it all the way around, as you can see. Putting a nice amount on. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Okay, so let's pop these off. I made a mistake this morning because I was up before Hunkydory came on, and so I was waiting, you know, it was on, and I was waiting for it to come on, and so I had it on YouTube like you do, waiting. And I thought, what can I watch for a couple of minutes just while I'm waiting for that to come on, because normally around about 4 or 5 minutes before the sort of, they run like a little screen thing, you know, telling you what's coming up and blah blah blah. So I thought, what can I watch? And then I saw on there was the video for Kylie Minogue, Padam. Padam, Padam. And now all day, that's all I've heard in my head. Padam, Padam. So if you wanted to be precise on where you're putting that in, you can put that in and then just put this on top. I'm just going to do that by eye. And I think that is going to be perfect. And then obviously I'm using this like the sentiment. So we've got a thinking of you. So this could be for someone who's going for a tough time, maybe a random act of kindness card, or maybe someone who's lost someone. You know, I know quite a few of my friends do see butterflies as one of those sort of spiritual things. Well, not so much butterflies as robins. And for me, squirrels as well, which is weird. I know it's not a normal one, but then I'm not normal. But yeah, squirrels. Okay, so we'll put the thinking of you towards the top. And we'll have this one along the side. If you didn't want to use your border, you could put a little bit of purple ribbon, lilac ribbon. There's even blue touches in here. Let's go around about there. I think that should still show. Yes, it does. Oops. Just because I keep opening that up, so it will stand nicely. Okay. So let's just get some gems. Now I did pull out a number of gems that I thought might work, and I'm kind of thinking maybe those ones or the pink ones. I think the purple ones are a bit too dark. Those are more like a dark blue. The light blue would work, and there is touches of it in there. No, I'm going to go with these ones, these sort of medium pink colour ones. Okay, let's pop 1, 2, and these gems would have come, actually I have a pack that came from Temu and I have a pack that came from AliExpress, so you can buy them in both places. So I'm assuming they would probably be on most of the sites, and you get loads of these little packets and they're all different colours, so that's quite a cool buy. Okay, so I've just put the 3 gems on, so that's my finished card. Just needs a little bit of an insert on the inside, which I will order next time I place an order. But that is our card number 1. Super cute. If you wanted to add even more to that, what you could do, and what I did do on my Design Team samples, was added a little bit of glamour dust even, not dusk, just with a quickie glue pen or any other sort of type of glue pen that you can use, and it did add a little. Actually, let's just do it. Shall we, just talking about it, let's just do it, and hopefully it will show up on camera. So I'm just going to do it on the actual insert bit that I've used, and what I'm going to do is just, there are sort of movement in these wings, so I'm just going to go around that with my pen, and it is foiled, so you know it is enough on its own, but it just takes it to that next level. So just keeping on going round wherever you think, and you could even just go in with these little sparkle bits that you see, like the light. Then let's drop this in. Oops. There we go. And this is crystal, so it pretty much picks up the colour of whatever's behind it. Let's take the lid off so I can pop it back in a second. And then what I'm going to do is just pop it that way, give it a little bit of a tap, and hopefully you can, yeah, I think you can just about see that little bit of sparkle on there. And what I'll do is let that dry, and then later on I just go over it with it's like a little blusher brush. You see it's got a bit of, and I just it takes any loose bits off, and then you just get that nice effect. So I know I shouldn't use this piece that's an insert, but it's been put in my little pack up there to use, so use it we shall. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, to go in with a more simple card, a 5 by 7. Just grab my guillotine, just tidy up the edge of that, because it looks like that's the bit that's been attached to the glue. There we go, just take that off. So that is 5 by 7. And if I grab my trimmer, and that's Ink Me cardstock this time, because I've just recently used the last piece, but it's the 5 by the A3 Ink Me pad. Okay, so this is an offcut of that gold that's come out of the A4 sheets, and I'm just going to take that to 2 notches under the 5 by 2 notches under the 7. I'm going to take a little bit more off that. Let's go to 6 3/4. Just maybe that was a little smaller. Now I took a bit off the bottom. Off the side just to match it up. Okay, perfect. And then what I'm going to do is take the printed cardstock. I'm using 2 of those toppers, so I'm going to be using the plainer side. So let's take that to, I'm going to go 1 notch under 4 3/4, just because I took that extra bit off. And I'm going to take that to 6 3/4 minus 2 notches. Hopefully this should fit perfectly, and it does. Nice piece there. Okay, now the only thing I didn't decide was whether I wanted that at the bottom or the top. I think it does need to be the top, so we will do it at the top. So just popping those glues on. Just give it a nice press down. Make sure that's nice and even. And then I'm going to grab a piece of this ribbon. It's going to be crinkly, so apologies. This would have come from AliExpress, actually. This was where I got most of my ribbons from. And I'm just trying to find the end. Let's undo it, which is always the worst thing to do. There we go. That's not going to go back in there, is it? Let's grab one of my clips. Right, so I just want a piece for now. I might come back and do a bow, but we will see. But for the moment, actually, we could go along there. Yeah, let's do that. I was going to go along the bottom, but I think actually going along there, just in front of that white, I think it doesn't need that white. That white dot there does pick it up, pick that pattern. So let's just grab some super strong red liner tape. Just put that on there. It's bound to be in the wrong place, usually what happens. But let's take Flip that over. There we go. And if I grab that, what I'm aiming to do is just have that going just in front of that white line. And then if I take that one off as well, this is quite fiddly to show you, but just making sure I've got that where I want that to be, and then when I turn it over I can pop those on. Now what I would say is, if you've never put ribbon at an angle before, as you can see, you always want, it's 99% of the time when I do that I put the sticky in the wrong place, so it's worth just having a little look where you need to put that. I generally just put a little bit of that tacky glue under the ribbon just as an extra bit of sticky, and it stops anything fraying. And then we can pop this in and down. You can see we've got a slightly wider border than I usually have, but that's fine. Then if I bring in the topper, got this beautiful one with 2 butterflies in, and it's got gemstones all around the frame as well, which is super cute. So you might, let's get both of these on. Let's see. So my plan, it still will work. Can we get, we'll have to come over just a little bit. So if I go as far up to the top left as I can, I should be okay. And then I'm going to take a, let's go with this one actually. Let's go with this lighter one. Actually, I will use that one down the bottom as well. So we'll have those on, and that's going to be the main sentiment. Okay, that's the layout. So let's pop this out. I'm just going to make sure those pips are not poking out too much. It's easier to see from the back, if I'm honest with you. And this one in there as well. Let's get those. Okay, now this I'm going flat. So we're just going to go straight onto the cardstock, a little bit of tacky glue. So we want that as far up to the top and the left as we can. So I'm just having the tiniest of border there. Then if we pop this one out. If you wanted a bit more room, you could go with an 8x6. That would give you a little bit more. I'll just grab some foam pads. And we'll pop these all over for support. And this one, just to make sure I get it in the right place, I will pop that frame back in. Obviously not stick it down, it's just to help guide me really. So that's there. And pop these off. Oops, slide. A little bit of tacky glue just so that if I do happen to get it in the wrong place, then I can just give that a quick little wiggle into where we want that to be. And then we'll pop that one on and in. And then we can just ease that one out. that into my little stash. Okay, and then this one, again we're going to want some 2mm ones because that's coming over the top. What I need to do is not put anything in this top corner because that's going to be overlapping the other one. Okay. Yep, that's good. We'll need those in a second for those buttons. A little bit of tacky glue again. There, just in case it hits something. What I'm going to do is just snip that pad off there. It's just trying to come over the side. So again, just going right to the bottom right hand side, popping that on, and we will pop. We'll keep everything on the 2mm. Straight in the middle, and there we go. And then this one is nearly there, maybe just a couple of gems just to add a bit of bling. I'm not going to glitter this one, but it definitely could, and this kit is perfect for bringing those glitters out, as I say. We'll have this one going that way, like so. And then I think we'll come in with those pink ones again because they are the perfect colour match to those. And what shall we do with these? I think what I'm going to do is just take the smaller ones and have a little a little spray of them coming out from that topper. 5. I'm just going to leave it at those because wherever else I'll put them is it's going to make it's not going to add to it. So sometimes more is more and sometimes less is more, and I think with this one less is more. I could come in with a little purple bow on there if I wanted to, but this one I'm going to keep as it is. So that is going to be card number 2. So let me just bring back in card number 1. There you are, hiding from me. That little stepper. Still got quite a lot on here, so we've got another topper, but we've got that printed, let's turn it around the right way, we've got that printed design on there, and on the foiled one there is also another printed one, so they could be 2 cards in their own right without even using that topper. So at some point I will make those cards up. Probably going to be a little busy this weekend, but after that I need to get on and use some of these kits up and make a bit of space, otherwise it just gets a bit crazy. But that is the cards for today. So that was the amethyst one, excuse me, and next time I will be coming back with another set from this kit. So thank you so much for watching. As I always say, thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. Have a good weekend, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.